Hey Leo, this is Perrymore Tarot's weekend reading from October 17th through the 19th, 2025. This is for Leo. Last shuffle for Leo. Let's see what's going on, Leo. Leo, what we have here is the healing light, and we also have playing it safe. This is telling me, Leo, that over the weekend you're going to be facing some things that need to be healed. Things are going to be up in the air for you, and it's important that you kind of go with the flow, let go of a fixed idea or a fixed plan. Don't be so rigid when it comes to your plans. Be flexible. Yeah, you're going to need to act on a moment's notice. It's going to be healing to do so. I feel that spirit is trying to heal you. They're trying to improve your health. Some of you may not be well over the weekend, or maybe may not be well at this point, and then you recover. I'm glad to see that because I kid you not, I'm coming down with something, and I think it's because of the weather. I live in the southeast portion of America, and man, when I tell you that whole all the conglomerate, them states right there, it's cold and then it's hot and then it's hot and then it's cold and then it's steamy and then it's dry and then it's this, and it's like, oh my gosh, this year, this time is unrealistically um, unpredictable with the weather. So I apologize. I am coming down with a little something, so I may pause to sneeze or something. So I apologize for that in advance, but I just have to get this out because I feel the message is very important. The healing light, though, with the Page of Wands, the Three of Wands, the Magician, and Ace of Cups, though, this is about facing something that maybe we're saying, this hurts, right? Usually the opposite of healing light would be some kind of dark wound. And usually dark would represent this is something that we don't face. So this tells me that you may be somewhat struggling with acting versus not acting or doing something new. You may have a routine that you do, but the routine may not be helpful anymore. This also tells me that you're playing it safe. This tells me that you may avoid conflict, and it's not necessarily that there's a conflict that you need to face, but it's also, but it means that you're trying to avoid a conflict when there will be no conflict, and it's time to change up your routine or change how you do things. It would be important for you to focus on the smaller details of things, tend to the very small things, right? Don't be afraid to speak. I feel that the past is done. They're showing that it's time to release the past and try and embrace something new. So there may be some kind of fixed plan or thing that you do that is not helpful anymore. It's something you had to do because of a past or some kind of thing, and it no longer applies. So they're asking you to, like, now it's not important. It's not necessary to keep doing this, thinking that you're avoiding a conflict or a problem. There is no problem to avoid. Therefore, this action is meaningless, pointless. The angels are saying that your health will improve over the weekend. I'm so grateful to see that. I keep seeing that. There's also something here about a relationship. So if you're in a romantic connection, even if you're not, right? They're talking about how you no longer resonate with the old them, or you know what I mean, like how you guys used to come together back in the day. I don't care how long back it was, how further back that energy was, but now the people that you are, yes, perhaps this things would be better, but if you, especially if you've been with someone for a long time, because I'm not necessarily seeing someone in a relationship, but for all intents and purposes, anyone who's in one versus not being in one, regardless, they're showing that the old you. So if you're not in one, the old you would be interested in certain things that now the person that you are today is not. So they're showing that it's time to just put your past behind you and try something new, try some kind different types of people. Like if you used to go to certain places to date, try something else to date, right? Maybe you're like, I always go to the bar for my person. The old you used to be like to like that element. Now the element that you like is different. Or so they're asking you to come outside of the beaten tracks, right? If you want a healthier relationship or healthier anything, you got to try something new, something different. If you're in a romantic connection, it tells me that the old you, that the 5 years ago or however long ago, the old you with that person, you're different. You're not interested in the same characteristics anymore. You don't want to do the same things anymore. And they're showing that this relationship is unrequited. But the new you and the new person, who they are presenting today, now can connect. They're telling you don't be afraid to speak up with this person. Also, for you, for singles, don't be afraid to speak up. Be your full self. Let go of the line maybe that you tell. Maybe you have a line, or there's like a certain way that you do things. You need to change it up. Just so you know. Playing it safe with the Hanged Man and Three of Pentacles. The intention here is to, you may get along to get along, or go along with something in order to get along with other people. And it's time to just speak out instead of trying to get along with everyone. Of course, within reason. They're showing you won't be able to predict how they'll react to certain things. But if you're honest, then you'll find whether or not something truly resonates with you and the other people or not. It's important to do so. And it's also important to pay attention to the very small details. So that would be in any form or fashion. That could be in your appearance. Pay attention to every small detail in your appearance. Pay attention to the small details, the fine print of anything. Ask questions about things that people leave out. Maybe you're curious about. Speak up. Like if there's a deal that, and they're just telling you, just glossing over certain things, and you have questions about, well, I mean, they didn't even describe the materials that we got to do, or the materials we have to use, or blah 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 blah. You need to ask. The teacher with Nine of Cups and Nine of Swords. This is someone who's very worried about whether or not you're happy. They're worried about whether or not you're content with what they're doing for you. I feel like they're worried because they know that there's somehow, some way you're not resonating with what they're doing. Man, you're very lucky over the weekend. You're very lucky over the weekend. I see money coming. Angel number 888 for you. A lot of money's coming your way, and also a lot of fortune. And I see a lot of these people that are coming towards you. It's very important that you show appreciation for them, or they won't talk to you anymore. That kind of thing. Like if they contact you and if you don't appreciate them or say thank you or something, it's very small things. Tend to the very small things. If you don't say thank you, they're like, ooh, Leo is so rude. Goodbye. Like, it's so deep, Leo. It's crazy. I need to remember that myself. Wow. Sometimes I get too busy to turn back around and say thank you, and I apologize to anyone because I don't remember sometimes. So I just get I don't get, I won't say I get sidetracked easily. It's just there's a lot going on. I just can say, um, this is a message. Typically, though, 888 is meant to encourage you to take personal responsibility, to make sure that you're accountable for things. So make sure you pay attention to the smallest of things. You know what I mean? Be courteous, be kind, which you typically are. So just know that that is going to take you places. Some of you may have Yod placements as well, YOD in your chart, that typically speaks of your destiny. So this destiny typically, I mean, the best way I could say it is there will be certain themes in your life, certain scenarios in your life, certain types of people. Like you might meet different people with the same spirit that you have to deal with. You might find like this is a common thing that keeps happening to me because there's a destiny attached to this. You're meant to accomplish something in that direction. So until you do, or you're meant to confront it or heal it or face it, And until you do, it's going to keep coming up everywhere you go. So you may want to look into where that is, okay? The great achievement is Five of Wands and the Four of Swords. And so a great achievement here would be to speak on how you overcome obstacles and challenges. But these would be challenges that you avoid or you ignore. You pretend aren't there. And that's where Spirit's like, you need to really face some things. Face your challenges before they grow and become bigger. Face every challenge and pay attention to ask more questions to make sure that you're facing it fully. You want to use rainbows over the weekend, but that could mean any, like you could use a rainbow, like have the picture of it on your phone. You could have that you could be wearing all of the colors, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. You may be wearing that, like you don't have to actually have a rainbow on your clothing, but you could be wearing like tie-dye, or have it somewhere where you're incorporating all the colors of the rainbow throughout the weekend, right? It could be that you're wearing a shirt with all the colors in it or something, but that will help you to connect to Spirit in all things, so that throughout the weekend you're able to see the small things, right? You're able to let go of the past because you understand. I swear, I keep seeing someone who's super lucky. That's coming out one more time. Lucky. Someone has a lot of money coming their way, and you want to use that. The money is going to, yeah, you want to use rainbows to help you to connect, right? The rainbow is interesting too, because what is uh, the the superstition with rainbows, or that, what is it, the folklore of pot of gold on the other side of the rainbow. And so there's another aspect of that. But they're also speaking of how money or luck or some sort of fortune is um, on the path of spontaneousness, of doing something new or doing something different, on the new path. Like you may do something out of the ordinary, that then boom, money. You know, you could be dealing with a Gemini or a Pisces. I'm also seeing another Leo, Aries, or a Sagittarius. So you could be dealing with a Pisces Aries cusp. If you're not dealing with those signs, but you don't have to be, those signs could also be in your chart. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, my links are on my page. Peace, love, and light. Take care.